we
that's why we're
appreciate
here,
the
right?
we appreciate the kind words. We love what we do, and Thunderhill's a great event, and drummed up quite the following this year. We're very proud of it. But thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah. So I actually met Kyle, who started Racecast, which is a partner company of Racer Connect, 2 years ago at this race, he was showing me kind of a little bit the way the design of Racecast is to make it for everyone to be able to broadcast their race without having to buy a bunch of expensive hardware and without having to limit themselves to other live streaming technologies which are not designed for motorsports. So and that for him, the story he told me was we had one of our guys go off track on one of the other parts of the track, and we just wondered, how did that happen? What happened? Of course, we can always get the GoPro video later, but we started to realize, that the technology is there for off-the-shelf, relatively simple technologies to be used to see what's going on the track all the time. And so that's what you see with the feeds you have in front of us. We have 9 feeds currently coming from the Sonoma Lemons race right now, which is I've got a lot of friends there. I'm a Lemons racer myself. But yeah, that's really the design. Anyone can take anything from as little as their smartphone and a smartphone mount and use their data to broadcast their race, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 8 hours. The Borders car, Bo Borders, and the prototype development group number 4 is a good friends of ours. This will be a 25 straight hour live stream.
Yeah,
straight hour live stream. So it exists. It scales really, really well. We've built a really, really nice back-end platform. We've got some great development work happening for things like you get to see the feed, but you also get to see live timing and scoring. You get to have a chat window, and you get to have the overlays, like you see on the screen there of their fast lap and that type of stuff.
Well, very cool. And for those of you that aren't already watching Racecast.me and the feeds directly from there rather than us pulling the prototype development group feed in, we invite you to do that now because what they put together is very, very slick. And it's very useful. Of course, Lemon's going on this weekend at Sonoma, like you mentioned, as well. So, I remember the first year that Racer Connect was here, and it was still Racer Connect at the time. It was trackside streaming and, kind of a set it up and let it run, individual feeds from around the track, and it was used as a resource, not just for us, but for anybody really that wanted to tune in and watch. How is it, first off, it's clearly evolved to a point that now people do this on their own. What's the goal with Racecast? I mean, obviously we're all part of the same motorsports community, and we're looking to further the community. What's the goal for Racecast? What drives you guys?
Well, we love the idea of people be able to simply being able to live stream as familiar as they might be in other areas of the world, Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
Sure.
We want that to be that simple, and we believe that it can be, and we believe we've achieved a lot of that so far. I mean, the technology that exists in the prototype development group car, that's a GoPro camera with an HD encoder and a Wi-Fi hotspot. That's basically as simple as you can get. And when you go to Racecast.me and you look at this setup, you can see from there, you can see exactly the things that you might need to get. Most people already have a GoPro. They're already familiar with the Wi-Fi hotspot. If they travel a lot of tracks, they know that the internet may not be good or the Wi-Fi may not be good, so they take their own Wi-Fi hotspot. And it's just a little bit of money for an encoder that you put in the car that's powered by the car itself, and that's really about it. But you can do that as simply as you can always start off with that just using a smartphone and the GoCoder app or the various other apps that are available depending on the platform. But there's basically one that we recommend that works really, really well. You can start and stream in 10 or 15 seconds.
Very cool. And for those that are listening that are racers, and we know that quite a few of you are, maybe just mention how people can get involved with Racecast. Obviously not from viewing, but if they've got a car, they're involved with Lemons, AER, Jump Car, any of those things. Any of these platforms or any of these series are available for live streaming. There's no
Absolutely.
restrictions.
It's race independent. It's just a great racing platform for live streaming. So what we do, like let's say for instance you wanted to run, you know, you were, you know, I know that you live on the East Coast, so you running a race out there somewhere. You basically, you create an event in your racecast.me account, and you can invite other drivers, so you can invite your friends, and they can stream side by side. One of the great things about it is you can, if you and your buddies are all there, and there's a couple of buddies that aren't there, your couple of buddies that aren't there can go to one page and they can just cycle through whatever video feed they want, not unlike what you're doing here.
Sure.
And so you get to see, you know, the live video streams, and we realize, you know, some of the greatest moments that we've captured on Racecast aren't necessarily on the track. They're cars that have, you know, they've gone off track and they've done some very heroic things to try and fix the car, or they've had a really, really good pit stop, and you can see those kinds of things. So it brings, you know, the great moments of amateur motorsports to a very simple platform, just to show everyone that wants to see it.
So I mean, this is arguably the biggest event, or certainly the event with the highest exposure that Racecast is involved in, and you know we're proud of the fact that we kind of get to pull this all together between Racecast and Endurance Radio and RaceHero.io. There's a lot of, and I've kind of gotten to see this firsthand now, a lot of communication that goes on between the groups into making something unique and something special. And when I think about, you know, you take a professional production, which we are not, but the budgets that are involved with something like that, season long, and then you look at what we do, the three groups in particular that are involved in putting this whole thing at Thunderhill on, it really is, it's very special. I mean, it's low budget, it's accessible, it's people can sink their teeth into it and enjoy it, and you know, it's exciting, and we're very proud to be a part of it. Very, very cool stuff. So, you know, at least as far as Racecast is concerned, you know, is there a future development plan? Things going on?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question, and the thing that's really nice is we've got a really, really great team behind the scenes. There's just as many people behind the scenes as there are, you know, out in front at these races. But you look at the feed we have right now with the prototype development group, and you see the overlay on the top with the lap times and the driver positions, and that's literally technology that is approximately 72 hours old. Like we partnered with Race Hero, and we partnered with Race Monitor, and those partnerships have existed, but they haven't typically in the past opened up the technological pieces for us to grab the data associated with fast laps, instant drivers, and position, all that stuff. And you know, they work tirelessly with us. You know, we have a couple of developers that do a really, really good job, and they've busted their butts the last couple of days so that we can be ready for this event to have exactly what you see on the stream, which is really a first. And there again, you know, you look at the, you know, not to hijack too much, but if you look at the Sonoma Lemons event, all 9 of those drivers have live timing and scoring right over the top, and that's didn't exist 2 weeks ago. But you know, to kind of dovetail onto that a little bit, there's one of the things that's really been great about being involved with Racecast is the value of something that seems, you know, it seems like when you look at it, it seems pretty simple. Yeah. And the value is like, oh, well, I can watch the race, that's cool. And then you begin to realize that as you use it, there's these crazy kind of things that happen that you never expected the way that you drive a race, run a race, watch a race. So like I was telling you, we use it in Lemons, and you know, we used it for the first time in Lemons race, I think probably a year and a half or so ago, and we got a lot of attention. People, you know, I bring a TV so we can watch it. You know, we can see it from 15 feet away, and that type of stuff. And we had a lot of people come by and kind of watch and stuff like that. But then we started to realize that we held strategic advantages in our racing that we didn't know that we necessarily possessed at the time that we fired up Racecast. Sure. We'd have these situations where, you know, perfect example, one of the guys that is on, that occasionally runs in our Lemons team is actually one of the guys here this weekend that the first driver, Bo Borders, in the prototype development group car. He comes and does the occasional Lemons race with us, and he's a great driver, fantastic driver, clearly more experienced than any of us. You know, we love watching him race. He's just a fast driver. He's a very smooth driver. We had one of our drivers go you know, he came in on the radio. He's like, hey, I need you to grab Bo and bring him over to the TV and have him watch me roll through turns 14 to 15 here at Thunderhill, because I think that I'm losing some speed. And clearly that there's an 8-second difference in our lap times. And sure enough, Bo comes over and he looks over his shoulder and he's like, and he gets on the radio. He's like, yeah, no, you're braking way too early for that one. There's another 100 feet of braking in that car that you need to wait for. And he comes back by the next time and knocks off a second and a half on his lap.
Wow.
Like literally the turnaround between the observation that I think I can do better, asking for help, getting the feedback because of the live video feed, and trying it out the next time was amazing. You know, we've had situations where, you know, we got hit once, kind of just from behind during the race, and you know, accordance with Lemon's rules, any contact, everyone comes in. Anyone involved in that contact, they come in for the penalty box and talk to the judges. We go, you know, we come off track, and the flag stand saw that there was contact, so they flagged both of them in.
Sure.
We come into the penalty box, we roll in, and the judge comes up to the car. He goes, nope, 300, you guys are good. We saw what happened. You're good. Get out of here.
Nice.
They just rolled us right out of there.
Nice.
So they're like, but you guys, and the car behind us, they're like, we want to talk to you.
Wow.
So, and you know, those situations where you have that question of what happened, like we don't know what happened. Those things are very easily answered when you have live video like that. You know, as another fantastic example is, you know, we get these situations where we're trying to manage the success of a team, not unlike any of the teams here. Lemons is really no different. Cars look a little sillier. They brake more often.
Sure.
You know, they're a lot slower, but the same strategic advantages can exist. And so we had a situation where, you know, we were doing really, really well. We were in the top 5 out of 80 cars. And we had our fastest driver in the car, and we realized it felt like maybe he was taking a little too many risks. And so we talked as a team, and we're like, you know, we're watching him race, and he's driving a little too hard. And so we talked as a team, and we were like, you know, let's ask him to back it down a little bit. So we got on the radio and said, hey, you did a great job. You know, turning some great lap times. Just let's be careful. We don't want to make any mistakes.
Sure.
So, you know, we're watching you drive, and we're a little concerned of getting too close to certain cars and driving corners too hard and that type of stuff. So we were able to pull our driver back a little bit and kept the car on the track and out of trouble, and all of that were things that helped us succeed in fantastic ways. And the other thing that, you know, that comes out of it that's really great is that we end up having technology in Lemons that 70-80% of these teams here don't have. We would love for them to have it, you know, once they see it and they see those advantages. But those advantages don't seem like they're obvious, and then you start using it and you start watching the driver and you watch how they behave, and you can see lights on the dash that maybe the driver doesn't see, and you know, all of those things. So you end up with some really it's much more than just, hey, I was in a race car and I shared it on Facebook. So sorry a little bit the long.
No. I appreciate it. And, you know, I know, like I said, a lot of our audience are racers themselves or involved in club racing, and that's the perfect platform for this stuff. You know, like I said earlier, as far as I'm concerned, you know, we try to move the motorsports community forward, to find ways to innovate, to do things differently. I said it to David Bodden earlier. You know, Thunderhill. A lot of this stuff was developed at Thunderhill, and it's been really exciting to be a part of. We're very proud of what we've done. I know you guys are very proud of what you've done as well. So, with all that, your support trying to get us up and running. You've been a big part of what we've done this year, and you know, hopefully we can carry on into the future.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate being a part of these events too. You know, as much as possible, we want people to understand that the neatness of, you know, being able to share what happens inside a race car doesn't need to be limited to Jimmy Johnson and NASCAR Daytona. Like, you know, earlier today, Bo Borders was telling me, he's like, you know, it was great. My dad called me and told me he watched my whole 3-hour stint from Florida.
Wow, very cool.
We had a guy in Lemons, a good friend of mine, Philip, was telling me that his dad watches from Germany whenever he's on the track. Like, you know, I guess the time means he's probably up in the middle of the night. I don't know. But, you know, that's the obvious part. Like I said, those trackside parts are a little more hard to see. But once you see them, I know it's just Lemons racing, you know, quote unquote, just Lemons racing. But I can't imagine us not having live video. the necessity has kind of been created for that to have it. And once we have people that try it, we never have people not use it again. They only just kind of clamor for the next best way to use it, whether it's they go from, like, we tried it on our smartphone and our battery died, we ran out of data, and my cell phone bill was $600, and like, so I don't want to do that anymore, but what's the next step? We're like, oh, okay, well, you can get a GoPro, and you can get this encoder, and you can get a MiFi, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. And then, you know, as the development part of it, you know, we're always advancing that. We're working on some technologies that allow you to push that directly to Facebook. You know, we had some test sessions this week where we pushed the view you see in the prototype development group directly to the Facebook page for racecast.me. So that type of technology is coming soon. DVR functionality to where you can rewind 30 seconds ago kind of stuff. Like all of that. All of that technology is coming. So we're constantly in development,
Sorry, we just had a quick spin at turn 3 for the number, or turn 4 for the number 11 Valkyrie Autosport Nissan, and it looks like we're also missing the number 44 One Motorsports CrowdStrike Radical somewhere. I don't know if that's related to the stoppage at turn 10, but that car appears to have gone missing as well.
Gone missing.
Well, that's what we've been calling it for the last couple of years, and you know that's exactly it. We don't know where it is. It's missing, right?
And you know, that's one of the other things that's nice with Racecast too, is you have those situations where if something happens with the car, it's great to know you can see something in the pits and you can know that your driver's safe and you know where they are. Yeah. There's that really kind of terrifying time period when you hear your driver say, car broke, or I got hit. Yeah. You don't necessarily know what happened, and you kind of just wonder, like, is the driver okay? Are they out off the racing line? Is the safety team there? Like all those things. It's really helpful to be able to see that yourself and kind of put yourself at rest, and then also make plans what you need to do to fix the car or whatever. So, but thanks for talking with me. I appreciate it. We've loved working with you guys. You know, we've had some technical challenges with Verizon here at Thunderhill, but you know, it's out of my hands, out of your hands, out of everyone's hands.
Last point I want you to make before you go.
Sure.
Racecast.me, the platform, you know, obviously the equipment and the data is one thing, but the platform, totally free.
As of right now, yes.
Okay.
There will always be a way for you and your buddies and your friends to live stream from your car for free using Racecast.
Okay.
That's the way that's been developed. We're looking at ways that will make that a premium for various features, but you know, we don't know exactly what that is. And we certainly know that as much as possible, the people that are involved and have been involved at the state before we've started charging money will always be the ones. They'll always be the ones we love the most.
Well, thanks again, Julian, for joining us. And you know, hopefully we'll see it. I know we'll see you at races in the future. But again, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the race.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's Julian Cordle from Racecast.me, and you know, we've been watching the feed from that number 4 for the last little while. Yep. While we have some light, I think we're going to switch out to turn 3 here. We've just got a little bit left. Joseph, you've been watching, and you know, Tim's here as well now, not on the microphone, but he is here. Anything of interest that we've missed while we were talking to Julian there for a little while?
We think it might be the 44 that went missing. Down at turn 10 and 11. We're not 100% sure of that, but obviously it was missing on racehere.io.
Yes.
So that seems to be the best lead we've got so far.
Okay.
The Praga has blown a head gasket, which is not great news.
Are they done, do we think, or are they